back with Inoffensive Isaac, people. It's Inoffensive Isaac. We love everybody. Let's get started. It feels good, right? It feels so good. Is Matthew Golden open? I don't need help at wide receiver, bro. We just said we got a glut at wide receiver. We need a little bit more consistency at RB2. Wide receivers chilling. We actually don't need more because it'd just be nice. That's a nice to have, not a need to have. You got me, bro. I'm one of those people that says sports ball. I feel bad. I feel bad for the sports ball heads because it turns out sports ain't going anywhere. And like, listen, don't take this the wrong way because we're all God's children. But I would much rather try to interface with another individual I don't know about sports talk than hear them talk about the dropout video that they just watched. If those are the two sides of the schism, put me on the jock side. Even though, as we all know, I'm a little bit more of a nerd, but I would much rather hear about sports. I would much rather hear what the hell's going on in cricket this year. I could at least ask some questions. As far as when somebody starts talking to me about sports, I feel like it's because they want to communicate and relate. When someone starts talking to me about like a YouTube video they watched, I'm like, okay, nephew just wants to talk. And that's fine. Like, but you know, you don't necessarily need me. Just start a stream or something instead. What's wrong with dropout? College dropout? Haven't you heard the stuff this clown's been saying for the past few years, man? Haven't you heard this the ignorant stuff coming out of this guy's mouth? Unk said keep it 300 like the Romans. He doesn't even know that 300 is about Sparta, which was a city-state in ancient Greece. Like the dude has no he's off the pen right now. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Health down.
Certified Isaac moment right there. That's all I got to say. I felt like we were on like a banter wave, and that just completely killed it. That's all I got. Blinkers in the Parthenon? I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. What do you want me to say, man? What do you want me to say about vaping that hasn't already been said? I don't want to anger the vapors. There's a lot of them out there. I don't know what time it is for them. Historically, based on my limited experience, most people who vape seem to be British, but that might just be because I went to London this year and there were lots of people vaping. So it is like, what time is it over there? It's probably like 5 p.m. That's like peak getting mad on the internet hours, man. I can't be picking a fight right now. I gotta wait till EastEnders is on. It's 16:44. Yeah, well, over here it's 6, maybe 7, okay? Get a clue. Just kidding, you're cool, you're cool. The vapors are not watching EastEnders? You say my grandma doesn't vape? Technically true. And she's also not watching EastEnders, but she was, for a long time she was. They're watching Bar Rescue? I'm just waiting to see. There's been like a 20 episode cliffhanger of whether or not they're actually going to get those lights off. This saws off the edges. Are you a health down? Are you, a speed down. A certified Isaac moment. Really cool and fun. Anything good going on here? Well, it's something that could possibly kill me, sure. Why not, man? Grandma's cigarette house? Just a funny expression. Anyone else's grandma pretend to quit smoking and then the house always smelled like cigarettes anyway, or is that just my grandma? Yes, sir. That's a classic. That's just grandma smell? No, it was cigarettes. It was, which is like in the whole scheme of things, I was gonna say it's not that bad, but it is pretty bad, I guess. But she and my grandpa committed to quitting smoking in like the early 1990s, and then my grandpa did it, and then I think my grandma just sort of like pretended out of solidarity. Lied is another way to describe that, but I think she did it. She lied, but with like good intentions. She was kind of like girl bossing. That smell lingers? Yeah, it lingered even after they moved, which is like the crazy part. Bro thinks he knows my grandma better than me. Kind of crazy. I mean, there's people out there that do, but you ain't one of them. I'll tell you that much. Pull the cranberries. Now that one I don't know. Pull the cranberries. Oh, they let it linger. I see. I get it now. What was Greed's Nutsack again? Greed's Nutsack is like when you spend a certain amount of money, you get a damage upgrade. Buy item equals stat up. Item or consumable? I'm gonna say you said item, so it's probably item. My grandpa quit smoking in 1963 and still had to tell the doctor until 2020 that he used to smoke. Yeah, well, here's the thing. You're going, that's crazy. But what it really just means is that the damage you do to your body when you're young, kind of like your body keeps score. sorry to say. So don't get me wrong, it's better to have quit. And you can't change the past or quarantine it. But either way, you know, it's better to have not started it at all. But that's water under the fridge at this point. Get me out of here, man. I think I want... Ah! I was looking at chat. That's my fault. You could have at least rewarded my ignorance by giving me a spirit heart out of that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Smoking looks cool in old European movies, though. I don't know. I sell the narrative that oh, I gotta push the buttons. I sell the narrative that smoking looks cool. I think it looks goofy. Now I will say, on the spectrum, and I think that you should not do either. Let's start with the obvious. I don't think you should do either. However, smoking looks cooler than vaping because whenever I see someone vaping, like smoking, they're feeding an addiction. Let's start with the obvious. But it doesn't look like it's desperate. It looks like they're just casually like, yeah, I'm raising my chances for lung cancer and heart disease and stroke. Everybody that's taking a vape hit, to me, looks like someone that is like dying of thirst in the middle of the desert. They're always like you know, after you finish like a long jog and you're thirstier than you've ever been, that's the vibe that every single vape hit I've ever seen in my entire life has for some reason. I don't know why. Also, cigarette smoke smells bad, which is cooler because it smells bad in like an industrial way. They smell like a factory, whereas vape smells bad in like I don't know, like a spiritual way, which is like, you know, the same people who are too old to wear Axe body spray have no problem smelling like sugar, alcohol, like synthetic fruit and desserts all day, every day. But you know, I'm fighting a losing battle, I think, because I don't know, nicotine is OP. It wins, man. It wins. Pharaoh, your curse room? We'll get to it. I was gonna go to the curse room and then I started pontificating about whatever. Why, I thought I told you to. You know what I'm talking about? Liam Lynch. Hate this room. Hate this room. Me when I'm in the chokey from Matilda. From Roald Dahl's Matilda. You know what? I got a great idea. I'm gonna move, because I'm playing this in 640 by 480, I can just move chat right next to the window, so I don't have to move my eyeballs as much to look at chat. Surely, that means that there's gonna be less eye strain at the end of the day, because I mean, it's like 70% less effort to move my eyeballs right now. That seems smart, man. That seems intelligent. Your eyes move rapidly in your sleep? Yeah, but that's like, you know, playing a game on your phone while it's plugged into the charger. Like it's, you're gonna stay at 100%. Yes, keeping your eyes focused on one spot on a bright computer screen is very good for them. I love when Twitch chat starts LARPing as like ophthalmologists at 9:52 a.m. on a Wednesday. So it's a slow day at the ophthalmology clinic today, doctor. Not a lot of people coming in for like cataracts and shit like that. All right, no, whatever you say, whatever you say. Sarcastic ass. Churlish ass dialogue. Is today Canadian Thanksgiving? What does that even mean? What does it even mean? Is today Canadian Thanksgiving? I get when people say it when it's like a day off. But when it's a day on, like what does it mean? What does it mean, man? Americans are obsessed about our Thanksgiving being on a different day. Americans, I mean, what do you want me to say? Status quo bias. That's why I was going in a little bit on Dave Roberts, man. Like, I get that because he plays, or he coaches the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are in the National League, they never have to travel out of the country, and, you know, as a result, may have never had to go through customs at an airport. And listen, I would love to just sit here and pile shit on the Pearson International Airport, which does suck. But the thing is, Unk is coming from LAX, which is one of like the 5% of North American airports that is actually markedly, observably worse than Pearson International Airport. So he really doesn't have a leg to stand on. But the fact that he was talking about like, he thought like our version of the TSA was trying to stop the Dodgers from flying back home as quickly as possible or something like that. Bro, have you ever been through an international border? It's annoying as hell. Every time I cross the American border, the dude asks me if I'm trying to like steal a job from Americans. I have the best job in the world, idiot. No, bro. How many times do I have to tell you? They get mad when I say it too. They get mad when I say it, but I'm gonna keep saying it. He played in the AL East, bro? Well, he should freaking know better then. He should know better. I mean, so AL East, bro was flying in the Logan. Probably LaGuardia before they did the fucking updates. And he's gonna complain about Pearson? Dude literally doesn't know shit about airports. Stick to baseball, buddy. You don't know shit about my special interest, okay? Last night for the Dodgers was so painful. Oh, it's been almost 365 days since we won the World Series. Oh, it's been 2 weeks since our best player hit 3 home runs and struck out 10 batters in the same game. It was so painful to be a Dodgers fan. It's so hard. Come on, buddy. Let's just relax a little bit. Let's relax, okay? Okay, so like, I gotta give some respect to Blue Jays fans. A, I'm Canadian, so you gotta rep your guys. But B, they also had to deal with like 10 years of Greg Zahn at catcher, and then like 5 years of Greg Zahn on commentary. So like, let's give the Blue Jays their flowers here, okay? They've been through a lot. We roll that. Alejandro Kirk is the truth. Honestly, if the Jays win the series, I think I'm getting an Ernie Clement jersey. Nothing but love for Vladdy. Nothing but love for Alejandro. I think Clement seems like my kind of dude, though. Used to be bad, now he's good. That was me and Isaac. Just looks like a normal guy, even though if I saw him in real life, it would probably be like the most fit individual I've ever seen in my entire life. And for some reason, bats like .083 in the regular season and .450 in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. It's just there's a vibe about it that I like. It's true. Also, his name is Ernie. You don't really hear that many Ernies anymore. That's right. That's a name that exists exclusively in baseball, man. And like Sesame Street, I guess. I figured you'd be a Davis Schneider head. I mean, it ended up being catastrophic for the Jays in Game 3, but I did love in like the bottom of the 10th when he got tagged out at home, and I went, he's trying to steal the La Casa. He tried to steal the La Casa. I don't know, man. I can't not see Dr. Disrespect when I look at him. What are we on here? Depths XL? I can do one. As the Dodgers fan, we're so boned. Oh, it's so pathetic, man. You're heavily favored, even still that the series is tied, and you're trying to get this sad sack, like, maybe if I act like it's already over, the universe will reward my team with good karma. Bro, you already got Shohei Ohtani. You already got rewarded. It's actually like so spineless and pathetic. Just embrace, your team's good, embrace being the villains, man. You don't get to complain about like, oh, my team's awesome, but not everybody in the league thinks that we're the good guys, even though we're obviously the good guys. The worst part is, everybody also, like, they hate the Dodgers as an organization, but they like the players. So you could have it a lot worse, man. Could be the Yankees, where people hate the organization and the players. At least the Dodgers, everyone's like, yeah, they're kind of like ruining the sport, but at the same time, how can you not like Shohei Ohtani? I mean, the dude is just a machine that he goes out there, he hits home runs, and he strikes out batters, man. It's what's not to like? He's also a baddie. He's like a wide boy, complimentary. I mean that in a complimentary sense. It's rare to get a man that's in that good of shape that's that wide. I guess? What do you mean, I guess? He's wide, bro. What do you mean, I guess? Have you ever seen him? My man's he's got a wingspan. He's got breadth. Is it true that he says he gets 12 hours of sleep a night? That's so sick, man. Like, dude is actually, if he said that, that is like, is it the one celebrity actually taking advantage of celebrity life? I have no patience for people like Mark Wahlberg, who's like, I'm a rich celebrity. That's why I get up at 3:15 a.m. to do a cold plunge. Like, bro, just chill. You won in spite of all the odds. Like not being likable, not really being that good of an actor, committing crimes in your youth that would get you blacklisted today. Like you made it. Just go to sleep, get some sleep, man. Have some chicken wings. Federer says he gets 11 to 12 a day. Honestly, I'm a little jealous, man. I'm a little jealous. I could restructure my life and probably try to get 11 hours of sleep a day, but I just don't think I could. I promise this isn't a humble brag. I don't think I could sleep that long. I think after 8, also like a goated mint, I think I would just wake up and be like, what am I doing? I don't know, man. I don't really like staying in bed. I'm a big 2 cups of coffee in the hotel room, Keurig, put them in the fridge overnight type of guy. I like my time in the morning. How could you do that as a parent? It's pretty easy. You just like ignore your kid. You pay the price later, I'm sure, but In the short term, it's risk free. Depending on how old your kid is. My kid's at a point, I wouldn't say they can take care of themselves, but she is at a point where her safety is not at risk if she's got a little alone time. But still, I'm needed to, like, you know, open a juice box or something like that, or get a glass of water. Sometimes just gotta look at some stuff. So it's a lot of like, Daddy, look at this, look at this. Technical support. I don't know if other parents are out there thinking the same thing. Lately, I mean, I've loved my child since she was born. But if you'll allow me to be a little offensive, she hasn't been all that useful to me. She's been useful, you know, for like reorganizing the priorities in my life, you know, making me find out what's really important. And it's not necessarily 2 Isaac episodes a day. And she's been useful for getting me into like a new social circle because of going to school. So there's lots of like-minded adults that I've met as a result of that. But now she's becoming even more useful because kids have such an insane, like, raw memory that I've been using her as kind of like a notes app. Like, I've always been the memory holder. I gotta get this. I've always been the memory holder for our family. Like, I gotta remember this person's name, where they're from, what their kid's name is, what's their job, etc., etc. But now I've started offloading some of that stuff to my kid, and her memory, like right now, I'm serving as like the backstop. I'm like the memory of last resort. But I'm offloading some of the work to her, and she's doing a great job so far. Like, sometimes she'll be like, play this song, and I'm like, who sang that again? And she hits me with the name of the singer, which is also reinforcing the memory for her so that it's going to be stickier in her brain as well. And as a result, like, it's been kind of sick, man, because honestly, like, her high level decision making and strategic ability to like make good family and business decisions is pretty low. I'm not trying to insult her, but it's pretty low right now. I have to assume that it'll probably come up. But her cold storage, like I don't even think it's a hard drive, actually. I think it's her RAM. Her RAM is insane. So I'm taking advantage of that in a big way. Anyway, that's about all I got. But haters will say it's fake. Haters and losers, of which there are many. Is there like a Polgar family for Jeopardy? That could be the next thing, man. You know how the patriarch of the Polgar family was like, I'm gonna perform a sociological experiment on my own children. I'm gonna force them to play chess like 16 hours a day, and then they all became grandmasters, and Judith became like the highest rated female chess player in history. Has anyone ever done that for Jeopardy? I feel like it'd be way easier, because all you'd have to do is like get them like a platinum subscription to Wikipedia. Would pay better too. Dude, imagine the generational handoff if you had like 3 daughters and you trained them all to be good at Jeopardy, and then you just had one of them run the table for like 2 years, and then she wants to retire and the next one steps in. Oh, that would be sick. That would be sick, man. No sons could do it. Yep. Who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world? Me. What is girls? Who are girls? Well, it's weird because it's a lyric, which is like a thing, but it sounds like it's a person, which is more of like you use a personal pronoun. It's a tough one. Honestly, I'd have to ask Ken Jennings on that one. Jeopardy daughter or Fear Factor son? Jeopardy daughter, because when you win Fear Factor, you only get 50 grand, which is like, I mean, it's a lot of money, but I mean, if you go nuclear on Jeopardy, you can make a lot more money. You could even be the host, apparently, if you're good enough at Jeopardy. You could be the host. Fear Factor, even before the horse semen stuff, Fear Factor pissed me off. Because I get that it's TV, but like, season 1 of Fear Factor, you can kind of understand that the contestants were like, I don't want to eat this disgusting shit. I'm not gonna do it. But then like, season 2 and 3 of Fear Factor, they were still like, bull testicles. I don't want to eat that. I'm going home. And you're like, well, haven't you seen the show before? Like, why'd you even try out for the show if you're not gonna... Challenge 1 was always like some courageous stuff, and then challenge 2 was always like a eat some shit that sucks. It was always like eat poison, eat a live scorpion, eat a bunch of bugs, guzzle horse cum. Like, that was the one that got the show canceled. But it's crazy, man. Eat literal shit? Yeah, like what? They're like, I'm not gonna eat the shit. Why did you go on Fear Factor then? What'd you think? They were gonna be like, we're taking challenge 2 off this week? And then challenge 3 was always crazy. Challenge 3 was like, you know, hey, get in this MRI machine and then we'll fill it with fucking rattlesnakes. Like that. That's the one where I was like, I'm not sure I do that. Can I just do the horse cum again? I don't really, I'd much rather do that than, you know, be stung by like 1,000 wasps or something like that. I mean, at least after the horse stuff, I could just throw up. I don't know, man. Where are we going here? You hear a guy got bit by a snake on Survivor this season? That's nothing, man. Did you hear about the guy who fell into the fire? Back me up here, VIP Daniel. Michael fell into the fire, man. Like a week after Survivor was... listen, you don't have to hand it to that guy. And I'll let VIP Daniel explain why. But on season 1 of Survivor, people were like, I'm hungry. On season 2 of Survivor, that motherfucker killed a pig on the show. He hunted and killed a wild boar on the fucking show. That's fucking crazy, man. We're like 25 years later or something like that. And now people go on Naked and Afraid and they're like, I've been training for this my whole life. And then they drink some water outside because they're thirsty and get dysentery for like 7 days. Every episode of Naked and Afraid has like an 8-day time lapse in it because they get dysentery every single time, man. My friend worked with a multiple-time champion of Naked and Afraid. That is kind of... I always feel like they must be crazy. Sorry, I'm making enemies today. Really outdoor survivalist types and van life people are like... I think that might be the hobby group that I just don't have anything in common with. All level, because sometimes they have a lot of like overlap, I feel like, with like doomsday prep and stuff like that, and I'm like, brother, if the apocalypse happens, I am fucking, I don't know if I can say it, but let's just say I'm not gonna have to worry about the ramifications of it for too long. I've had a good time, you know, I'll do what I can, but if push comes to shove, I could live with, well, maybe pun intended, but I don't have to worry about that, man. I don't know. That's for you to worry about. That's for the crazy people to worry about. I will be dead. And the van life stuff, I just don't get. And I'm probably like pandering a little bit here, but every time I see something about van life on TV, it's always about like how nice it is to be away from the hustle and bustle of the city. And I'm like, okay, but who took the picture of you meditating on the mountain and posted it on social media? Not Swanky's innocent, okay? Swanky's innocent. Swanky was doing that shit before there was even an industry surrounding it, okay? Swanky's an OG. Anyway, that's all I got. That and I think backcountry skiers. And that one is more of a risk because I think we have probably some backcountry skiers here. But maybe like twice a year, Kate shows me like an Instagram reel of someone having an accident backcountry skiing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I would ever do that, man. Like she showed me a video where a dude is just skiing and then he falls down basically an invisible hole in the ground that like was just covered by a thin layer of snow and fell like 15 feet, but then managed to hold himself up with his elbows, and then he looked down and it was like a 150-foot gap to the bottom or something like that. And I went, I don't think that there would really be any, and I guess that's the appeal of backcountry skiing, is that the whole time you're out there, you're like, that could happen right now. Isn't this exciting? But then, like, you hope it doesn't. I would imagine. Yeah, we'll open that. Would you ever go cave diving? Nah, it doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. Untouched snow is the main thing for me. Well, because people like me keep ruining the black diamonds, right? By doing the pizzas when we're supposed to French fry or whatever. I'm sure I take a lot of heat for like ruining the tracks, but brother, I'll level with you. I'm shit ass at skiing. I'm just trying not to die. on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the quality of the hill is very low to me. Step 1 is like, don't fall. And step 2 is try to avoid swerving as much as possible, because people behind you that are going faster don't give a fuck about trying to avoid you. Also, like, they're all intoxicated all the time, even though it's quote unquote not allowed. They've done nothing to curtail it whatsoever. You hitting the terrain park? Nah, you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong fella. It's not because I have a low risk appetite, it's just because I'm not very good. So I wouldn't, there's nothing I could do at the terrain park. What about tree runs? I go skiing 0.5 to 1 time annually, and all I do is try to make it out alive. That's pretty much it. It is fun, don't get me wrong, I understand the appeal, but most of it is for me not dying. You're the kind of guy to fail shopping cart theory? You really don't know me at all, huh? No, he's right. No, he's not. Wait, what is shopping cart theory? Is shopping cart theory when you bring the shopping cart back after you use it at the grocery store? Yes. I've never, with God as my witness, I don't think I've ever not taken it back. And I honestly search the spirits, not the hard drives. They haven't done anything that wrong. Search the souls and spirits of the people who type sure for impurities. Because one thing I know is that selfish actors always want that their worldview is predicated on the belief that everybody's selfish. They're just better at it than other people. Not true. I believe that 1/3 of people are innately selfish. 1/3 of people are just following the rules, and 1/3 of people are innately good. I mean, I didn't put too much thought into the numbers, but that's, I'm gonna give you a rough breakdown like that for right now. You're right, the people should be walking on the right side of the street, man. It ain't that serious, but that's why it's serious. Because if they could just start walking on the right side of the street, we could start worrying about bigger problems. What about in the UK? I'm a believer that you walk the way you drive. But I'm also a believer that if you travel to another country, you should handle things the way that they handle them. So I don't know what side they walk on in the UK. I listen to the announcements. Wrong, walk towards oncoming traffic. Okay, Skylar, that's if you live in where Ma and Pa Kent lived, in Kansas, and you're walking in a place where there's no sidewalks. In the civilized part of the world, we're talking about like walking with two-way traffic on a sidewalk in civilization. I know the rules because I grew up there too, but like, I think you're conflating two unique situations here. Also, people shouldn't be standing right in front of the elevator/bus doors. Another classic. You have to not be at the boarding door when people are getting off because they have to like dodge you to get off. Very irritating. You're not wrong. And you got to take your backpack off and put it between your feet, bro. Is this just Larry David-isms? Well, it's just like, you know, it makes you realize like how many people in the world just like don't think about how they're impeding others at all. Whereas like for me, it's almost all I think about. That's social anxiety? Nope. I don't have social anxiety. Maybe I did at one point. I don't have social anxiety. I just like, and I guess I'm just maybe a better person. I guess I'm just a better person, not than everybody, but a better person than the average individual. Because like if I ever find myself like getting stopped by someone on the street to have a conversation, the first thing I think of is, who is this person? And then once I figure that out, I go, if this conversation is going to last more than 30 seconds, we better pull off to the side so we don't block the sidewalk for everybody else. But a lot of people out there are not going to that step. A lot of people out there are just going, yeah, I'll just stand right here. This is where I was walking when that person stopped me. Why should I move? Why should I spend 1/10 of a calorie to get out of the way so that other people can actually move by? People at Canucks games who stop in the hallway during the intermissions. Don't even get me started on Rogers Arena concourse behavior, bro. Don't even get me started. Also, I haven't been to a Canucks game in a while, but I probably will this year. Now that my parents are here, I'll probably go to one this year. I already Googled the Vancouver Canucks calendar, and I wanted to go. I sorted by weekend games that start at 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific time, because I do not want to go to a Saturday game that starts at 7:30, get out of the arena at 10. Who knows when the hell I'm getting home, man. So it's, yeah, there's 2 remaining because they already had the Montreal game. So it's either, and they're like a week away. It's either going to be the Penguins or the Leafs. I don't know. The Leafs game's going to be expensive, but I think my parents would rather see it. But we'll see. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they'd rather see the Penguins game and be like, that's Sidney Crosby. So that's a lot of what my mom gets out of hockey is going, is that Sidney Crosby? Moms love Sidney Crosby. I mean, I love Sidney Crosby, man. That's my mom, but with baseball and Ohtani. Pretty easy to spot Ohtani. He's the wide boy. He's the wide boy that's on first base. NL, he actually plays DH and pitcher. Yeah, but he's on first base because he walks every time now. Except for last night when he struck out twice. Ooh, sorry. Haters will say it's fit. Dave Roberts will say there was intent. Yeah, intent to swing at something that was outside of the zone. You just got Biebered, buddy. Anyway. Whatever. I don't know. It's baseball, sports. Let's, you know what? We got the sauce. What does this go to again? Hush. I want to say this goes to Hush. This goes to Delirium. That's not going to happen. All right, so let's go. Call that Isaac 1. Rebuilding the streak, man.